I've brought it up in recent shorts that I've done, but I wanted to do a longer form video expanding on a few of those things, namely that sewing and leatherwork aren't this big daunting task that you need a lot of skill or a lot of money to get into. You really don't. It's a wonderful thing to be able to make whatever it is that you want. And it's not hard to learn that. I mean, for leatherworking, right, you only need a handful of tools. You need a razor, you need to be able to cut the leather, a grooving tool for marking stitch lines. You don't need an edge beveler, but it's nice. It adds to pulling a look together. A normal hole punch, I think it's 1/8 inch, and then a stitching punch, and some type of mallet or hammer. Don't use a metal hammer, you'll ruin the tools. And that's really it. Everything you when it comes to armor, stuff like this, articulated shoulders, adjustable sides, all this armor, this is just those basic tools put on a big scale. Even something like this belt, this big pouch, again, this is all the basic tools. I chose to scribe and carve that center, but you don't have to do that. You can just push into the leather with a decent amount of force, and you can draw in whatever design you want. Leather is a quite porous material, so if you apply pressure and indent it, it will hold that shape. Here's a good example of that. That whole design is just pushed into the leather. Now, as I've brought up previously in those shorts, it is a lot easier if you wet the leather. You just gotta put water on it and it becomes more malleable. So when you go to tool it and put designs on it, it will take and imprint whatever it is that you're doing better, but you don't have to do that. It'll take a little bit more force, but you can just push and draw a design on. And I think that that's one of the best things about leatherworking, is all the time you'll see incredibly intricate things, and those are incredibly skilled. The people that make those are great, but you don't need to do that. And if you do want to do that, chances are there is a less professional, less effort way of doing it that fulfills your want to have a specific design without needing this super high benchmark of skill or tools. And that's what I really, really like about working with leather, is even if you don't want to do tooling like this, you can still have something that looks good, is cohesive and clean, and is one cohesive, well-designed piece. For example, this holster I made. I don't know how well the light will catch it, but so it's a cross-draw holster I made. This is all the basic tools. I got normal veg-tanned leather hide, cowhide, and I went and I bought a thinner, more malleable hide. It's black. And I just glued the rough edge to the rough edge, so you have the smooth leather and then the soft leather on the inside where the gun goes. And then as an added touch and a flair, I just stitched it with white thread, so it would add to that look. And then you just set rivets. Everything here and everything I've shown previously can be easily and pretty cheaply gotten at Tandy Leather or depending on where you live, a different leather store. Nothing here is wild or hard to find or hard to learn. It all depends on what you want and how much effort you're willing to put in. Because a big part is just math, right? Now, for stuff like the gauntlets that I made mine geometric. They're trapezoids. That's all they are. You don't have to do that. If you want a piece of armor that goes over your forearm, it doesn't matter what shape it is. All that matters is that the connection point here matches with the connection point here if you're gonna do stitching or lacing. But if you're gonna do something like a belt system, it doesn't matter. It can be whatever shape you want. If you have a ruler, you can make whatever you want. You can make whatever you want. There's a bit of trial and error, but in the grand scheme, that's minimal. As long as you have a image in your head or a design you want to make, or hell, a design you want to emulate. If you've seen something really cool that somebody else made and you want to like emulate that, chances are you can, and it won't be as hard as you might think. When it comes to sewing, I have made a lot of things. I know mostly this channel, I've only really shown the whole Robin suit and cosplay that I've been working on and making for a while. But as I've mentioned in those shorts, everything on there is just the absolute basics of sewing. There's not a whole lot to it. It's not as hard as people think. It's not that hard in general. You can probably go on like Facebook Marketplace and find a sewing machine for like $50. You can go on Amazon and you can get a really nice sewing machine for like, I don't know, $70. I suggest the brand Brother, but that's my own personal opinion. But like the base settings of a sewing machine, just a straight line, is really all you need. I've made 3 different, technically 4, but 3 different like Assassin's Creed things. And that's where the like tail designs, it's just geometry. And again, it's not like complicated geometry. It doesn't matter what the angles are, as long as they're symmetrical. You just fold the fabric over, draw your shape, and then when you unfold it, now you have it on both sides. It's that simple. You can do whatever shapes and angles you want. When you're looking for fabric, there's really only one thing that you should look for. If you know what you're looking for and you're looking for a specific type of fabric, this may not apply. But if you're trying to get into the craft of sewing or improve your craft of sewing, if you're new or starting out, just go to Walmart. Just go to Walmart. You can get pretty decent chunks of fabric in different colors and textures for like $10. It's not a lot. If you want a fabric with more texture, so I guess it'd be like a looser, like the tightness that the thread is woven, then they have that. If you want a tighter one, to where there's less texture, it's more smooth, they have that as well. This fabric here, this gray fabric, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but this fabric has texture. The weave of it isn't as tight as other fabrics. But this fabric, this like, I don't know if you can see that. The like checkered, textured, this is also, you can get this at Walmart. There's so many options for you if you just walk down the aisle and take a look. the end goal of all of this is that I really want to emphasize and show that these are skills anyone can learn. And I mean that. Anyone can learn how to do sewing or leather work. You can make whatever it is you want to. If it is more intricate and detailed, then there's just more to learn. And once you learn it, now you can do that for everything else you want to make. It truly is a wonder that we have the ability to share information the way we do, through video, through photo, and that anyone can learn and teach amazing skills that you never know when you'll need, or if you want to use it, but at least you'll have it.